Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Terra Tech. And we are finally starting the brand new patch 5.9. It's Tension Payload Failure Survey Mission, Crash Landing Imminent, Initiate Emergency Salvage Protocol. Pretty cool that they have refined the intro, which they only added a few patches back, if you guys remember that. Before that, this right here was the very first thing that you saw. Whew, your cab is a bit banged up, but you're fine. This is your cab. Protect it at all costs. And they do not kid on that. If this cab gets destroyed, your entire bot goes boom, and you have to start from scratch, basically. Click and drag the right mouse button around, looking for other parts. So you can do it this way. I think I'm going to go in there and reverse it, because as I started again, I remembered the controls for the camera. Let's see. Let's go into options. Controls, graphics. I believe it's camera. I'm going to take that off, because for me, I've kind of been getting used to not having it equipped just for my own preference, but you guys are more than welcome to have it however you want. Now let's go back in there. Oh, okay, yeah, this is more the way I like it. Let's go ahead and put that on the back of it. Nice. Now attach all the wheels. These wheels are the GSO little Trekker wheels, and they're pretty much the most basic wheels you're going to get in the game. They're not very good, and you'll see how important wheels actually become with your style bot later on, because the bigger the bot gets, the more weight is actually added onto that bot, which means the more weight is added onto the wheels. And the wheels will overload at a certain point where they don't go as fast and they start actually screeching, and you can see like the middle on the bottom like just chipping away. You don't actually ever damage your wheels as far as I can tell, but you will go real slow, and you have a hard time getting around over hills. And this game is really hilly. Oh, look at all the graphics. This is cool. I like the graphics on this one. Oh man, the trees look a little bit more realistic. Check your system. There we go. Let's go ahead and move up. Oh guys, it's kind of cartoonish a little bit, but it's a step in the right direction, and I can see how this would lead to improving. Oh, well, we got a rival, Tony. So now we have to go over there and destroy this bot. So you can see my weapon, the one that they've given me, actually tries to target him no matter where he's at. Now, it's not very good because it does have a range that it has to fire at. So if you're too far or too close, you're going to have a hard time actually hitting him. Now, he has to be really close before that becomes an issue. Normally, the closer you get to the bot, the easier time you have at hitting it, but that's not always the case. Sometimes, you will regret getting that close to him because he'll have tons and tons of weapons, and when that happens, you spend like an hour trying to get all these pieces, or even longer sometimes, and the last thing you want to do is risk all of it just, either getting destroyed or you getting destroyed and leaving all those blocks there. So yeah, not something I would highly suggest doing. Now you can kind of see right there when I move forward and then I stop, I actually push, you can see my bot rocks. And that's because it's not completely balanced. So if I put another block here on the back, so there's 3 long, and then I move forward again, and then I stop, he doesn't rock. And that's because it's even. There's a block on the front, there's a block on the back. Now, to make it completely even, I would have to put this item right here, the GSO mini drill, on the back as well. And then, of course, a weapon here on the back. And that would be completely balanced. But for the most part, if you got the wheels, that will keep you from, moving around in a weird place. And that can definitely come in handy as you start fighting bots that are really, really strong. Let's see. I guess we're going to head over here in this direction. I do like how they add the compass here on the top right corner. That was never there before until you got a radar unit. And radar units were not easy to get. Whoa, what is this? It's like a glowing... You know what? I'm just going to shoot it just to see if I can aim at it. There we go. Come on. Come on, destroy it. Am I even hitting it? I don't think we're even hitting it. Wait, we did get a piece of it. Let's go into build mode real quick. It would kick that out. Wait for it to stop. Hover over it for a second, and it's a Lexite shard. Lexite is a crystalline ore that emits a bright and even light, even at night. Oh, it can be used to produce a production of lights emitting blocks. That is something I forgot to tell you guys. There is a night or a light and day cycle, not a light and day cycle, a night and day cycle, which is pretty cool. That was never in the game before, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how that works. Now, I'm told you have to leave the grassland the very first time to see that actually take effect, but you know what? I don't actually like this inverted camera. Let's take that back. Put that back on. It's moving around in a way that I'm not really accustomed to. I'm not quite sure why. I can't quite pinpoint what's wrong. Let's see. I guess that's better. Yeah, I guess that's better. Let's go ahead and pick this thing up. Now, this is pretty cool. This is your GSO tall solar generator. A good starting solar generator. It will convert sunlight into electricity whilst anchored, but becomes overburdened easily. Now, what they mean by anchored is if I pick it up, I can put it on the back of my bot, but it's not going to do anything. It needs to, and you'll see this little red thing shine up here, and it says must be anchored. It's telling you what's wrong with it. The same thing as this weapon will eventually tell me something what's wrong with it, because it can't shoot through an object, and so it's being blocked. And so if you go over it, there's a little eye, and it should tell you, but I guess it's not going to. I guess it wants to tell you about the wheel first, and it's telling you the wheel is overloaded. This wheel is attempting to support too much weight. It will move much slower whilst under this strain. Try adding more wheels to support it, or reducing the load it's carrying. So, as I told you guys earlier, that is just something that you're going to have to kind of work around. You're going to have to design your bot with it. But right now, the quest wants us to put this object on the ground, the solar generator. Now, I'm not going to do that just yet. I am going to go ahead and look for the nearest fire, which seems to be over here in this direction. And the reason I'm not going to put this down yet is because what I've noticed is once you put this object down, at least in the other patches, once you put that down, you had a very hard time getting over to the next one with this without getting destroyed. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can just kill this guy real quick. Seems like I probably can. My little gun is lining up perfectly. I don't know if they've gotten better at that, but I don't remember them shooting that quickly. And what is this GSO lantern? Holy crap, guys, this is something new. Oh, what is this? GSO storm lantern, a basic stud style fixed light. It won't shine very far, but it does cost much. But it doesn't cost much either. Okay, so I guess these do have a price to them. Although if you find them on the ground off of enemies, you know, at some point you'd be asking yourself, who cares how much they cost because you didn't buy them. But, you know, when you actually start making your base, you're going to, you know, see that that does come into play. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on the side of that solar generator, and I'm going to move this thing into the back. Now remember, you can turn the gun turrets to face whatever direction you want by using your scroll wheel on your mouse. If you don't have a scroll wheel on your mouse, I have no idea how you cycle through those. I'm sure, oh, there's another one here on this side. I'm sure there is a way to do it, and I'm sure it's a keyboard function or something, but yeah, scroll wheel is just so much easier, and why don't you have one by now? I love my scroll wheels, so place this solar generator. Yeah, we already know that. So let's head over here. Now these are all your crashed pieces, basically. You could see the smoke coming from this. Again, was not in the original when it first came out. They've been, you know, updating. It's still a game in development, so they're constantly making really big changes, and then small ones as well. And this is something they recently added as well, and I'm really liking the tutorial. Almost basically what this is a tutorial, because when you first started before, man, you had no clue what you were supposed to be doing. You were just kind of like thrown into the world and like, here you go, figure it out, right? And the first time I played, I quite literally, you know, drove around for like an hour and a half before I found anything on the map to really do anything with. You know what, we're gonna leave this stuff here for now. It's on a nice little hill. There we go. So once you put the solar generator down, this little ball will pop. So make sure you don't put it down and then start running away. I did that the very first time, and I'm guessing these things despawn after a certain amount of time, because when I came back to it, it wasn't there. So I had the solar generator, but no way to charge and use it with this repair bubble. This is a GSO repair bubble projector. A repair bubble, it will repair damaged blocks if powered up. So basically what's being done here is you have a solar generator creating power, and then you attach the block to it that charges it up and allows it to be used in a certain way. You're just creating energy before. Now you actually have an object that does something with that energy. And you can see it creates a little green almost like sphere, which I guess it would be a complete sphere if it went down into the ground. I can't really tell if it does, but it looks like it probably does. Damage, yeah. So you'll see some of my blocks are flashing red. That means they're damaged. The faster it's flashing red, the closer it is to exploding or being destroyed. So this is my main bot, and it's pretty close to being destroyed. It can go a little bit faster, but just a tad bit more, and once it goes that fast, it's going to explode no matter what, unless somehow you manage to get it start being repaired immediately before you like even could tell that it's flashing that. So yeah, you have very, very little time. But this guy, he's not too good. You know, he's about to be destroyed if he gets hit like one more time. So you'll see as I move in here, all my blocks were flashing green. That means they all got repaired a small amount. Now they also did drop something else. This is the receiver, and it was dropped because I put down this little block right over here. And we're going to go ahead and attach it to the delivery can. I kind of want to do it on this side, because wherever the receiver is, that's where it will pick the blocks up off of your... Oh, you know what? I can't do it because I have those stupid little lights on there. Yeah, we're gonna have to move those real quick. So let's see if we can pick those up, and we'll put them on our repair bot or our solar generator, because I don't think we're gonna be moving that stuff around too often. And then we will move that over here. So basically, with this is if I shoot any of the resources, especially this tree over here, let's see if I can do that real quick. If I shoot this tree right here, some of the resources will fall to the ground, like these things. And if I pick this up and then drag it over here in front of the receiver, it will pick it up with the receiver and then sell it in the GSO, and you'll see I just got 10 BBs there. That's the standard currency for the game. Now, you can use that later on to buy objects. Anytime you find a block for the very first time and attach it to your bot, make sure you do that. You can't just find it on the ground and drive by it and be like, ooh, that's cool, but I don't have a space for it, so I'm not going to pick it up. Pick it up, attach it to your block or your bot, and then throw it back down on the ground if you have to. But that's the only way the computer can recognize at this moment that you found that initial piece. And then from then on, once we get the payload studio, you can actually go in there and buy that piece. Now, you can make money by turning in these objects, these ores, for the GSO delivery cannon, or you can make money by destroying bots. Every time you destroy an invader, I believe even later on, every time you destroy another bot, you get a little bit of cash for that. So we'll see right here when we destroy this guy. Oh, what does he have? Ooh, he has some good stuff on him. I don't really want to destroy him completely. This we gotta take. I'm gonna pick that up immediately. Now, because a lot of the time, if you don't pick stuff up immediately, it can get destroyed by your own fire when you don't really mean it to be. And that really sucks when that happens, because it can be a very, very long time before you find that piece again. It's kind of random. I mean, some objects are more common than others, obviously, but overall, you know, you really want to get those blocks when you see them. And there are some new wheels here. You'll see them right here. These are the GSO dirt wheels, larger wheels with a bit more oomph. Now, these are pretty cool. If you see when I put them on, my bot will... When I actually go down to the ground, will not sit level, because they actually protrude down a little bit further, giving your bot a little bit more lift. And the reason that is highly sought after is when your bot is really low to the ground, you got to remember that it's flat. And when it tries to go over wheels, especially as you go out, like I'm doing 3 wide, the more wide you get, the more chance you have of a heel literally hitting you right in the center of your bot and just kind of putting you there dangling kind of back and forth with neither side of your bot touching wheels. And that really, really sucks when that happens. And it happens quite a bit. So you got to really design your bot the right way. Now I'm going to put these big wheels on the front and the back. As I said before, you know, it rides up a little bit more. So if you don't put them on the front and the back, you won't really be getting the full benefit of that without having, you know, tons of wheels. So just placement is usually a pretty good idea. Now this right here is a tractor pad, a thimble tractor pad for the GSO, and basically what this does is it picks up resources. You'll see when I actually lower my bot back down to the ground that it will pick up these little resources right here. What are these? The plumba, the basic building block material for most fabricated recipes. So when I actually lower it, it's going to pick this up. Before I do that though, I'm going to get the rest of these weapons, because weapons on the front of your bot is always a good idea. Usually the front of your bot, for me anyways, is where I will find most of my enemies, but you do want to make sure you have weapons going in all the other directions as well. because the enemy really has an exceptional, I should say, idea at where their weakest side is, and they tend to favor that side as much as possible, actually going above and beyond to find that, and just causing you such headaches because you're trying to constantly turn around. And where was my base? Is it? I thought it was in that direction, but maybe it's on the map already. I didn't know it would do that until I had... Oh yeah, it actually is on my map. That's kind of weird. You normally couldn't do that until you had a radar unit. So now that you can do that right off the bat, oh, I can see a lot. I can see a lot of those those delivery things over there in the distance. There's like 3, 4, 5 that I can see within range. That was not as common before, so that's kind of interesting. And you can see right here that we actually discovered a new recipe while we were traveling here. And you'll see as I hover above this object is a GSO 2-slot fabricator. And if you move your cursor right above it, you can see 2-slot fabricator takes 2 ingredients and fuses them into a third new outcome. And as you put more ingredients into this, you'll see more and more recipes appear, and you can just do that randomly. You can go off and get a whole bunch of different resources, bring them back to your base, throw 2 different ones in there. Remember that you can refine these later on as well, and refined with unrefined sometimes makes different objects than 2 refined ones of the same stuff. So a lot of different possibilities on this. They don't have the recipes in the game for every item that can be made yet. The Geocore ones weren't in the last patch that I was playing. They may be in this one, but we'll have to see if that's going to be the case. We are going to go ahead and expand our bot real quick. And you can kind of see there, when you enter build mode, it does do a little bit of a shove of any of the blocks around you. So if you get stuck with mining these resources, and these little blocks tend to kind of get bunched up in underneath your bot and in the wheels, if that happens to you, just enter build mode. It will kind of toss them aside a small amount. When they first put that feature in there, oh my god, you would enter build mode and you would see the blocks that you really just fought hard to get, completely and totally fly like a million miles away. And I remember doing videos for that when it first came out, so if you guys want to see that, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, definitely refined a whole lot more than it used to be, and I'm just really loving the changes they're making to this game. It's really going in the right direction, and I can't wait to see what they come out with. So we're going to put this down, but the placement is kind of important, because over here you have a block, that the delivery cannon, that sells any items you put on it. And then you have a block over here that will make stuff out of any items that you put on it. So putting these two very close together, at this point we really don't have that much of a choice, unless we want to put it over here on this, which I guess we could. We could move this light onto the end right there, and we could put it over here. That way we could actually deliver stuff to this without it constantly being sold over here. And that is an issue that you kind of have to run into if you build your base wrong, or you're just not quite completely aware of how to do things. Now this is a transfer, it's a conveyor, and they're going to give you a couple of them, I guess. So we'll just do this. Basically what this, are they going to give us a couple more? There we go. And we got a GSO receiver. Now if you didn't have this tractor pad, you could come over here with any of the blocks that you're pushing over here with, say, a bulldozer, a little bot that you kind of created. They used to give you that piece right off the bat, and it would make more sense if they did, because at least that way you didn't have to rely on the tractor pad. Although I guess I could technically come over here. In fact, I probably should do it from the other side. I was going to say I could come over here at the right angle, and because my bot is so low to the ground, I could use just the front blocks as a way to push the resources further towards my base, although that landed in the exact wrong direction I wanted it to. Oh, and then of course they picked some of that up. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can push these. Now remember, these will get caught in your wheels sometimes as you get bigger, but right now we're so low to the ground it's not an issue. Yeah, so there we go. You could push them like that if you just don't have one of these things and you really want to go ahead and get some money, especially if you used to have some of these and they all got destroyed and you need some way of replenishing those without having to go out and find them all over again. That would definitely be a method that you could use, but I would not highly suggest it, because the blocks are not easy to push. They get very you know, quickly pushed to the side because, again, the programmers figured, you know, you probably wouldn't be doing it that way. So they were trying to do you a favor by not allowing you to constantly, you know, get stuck because all the blocks just built up underneath you. They do that to a certain extent, but not like overly so. And that's why they kind of make it a little difficult to do that. And it looks like there's more fragments to my kit over here. And there's an enemy who's trying to steal it. So if you don't kill him in time, and I think he's about to die. Let me back. Oh, see, if you see an enemy flashing like that, you got to make the decision. Do you back up or do you take the hits? Because if you back up, he may decide to run, and then you have to chase after him and things of that sort. But if you take the hit, you know, you're taking a pretty big hit there, and that sucks pretty bad because you may be pretty far away from the base, and getting back there anytime soon may not even be a possibility before another bot attacks you. So keep that in mind when you decide. Now, I'm putting another wheel down here underneath, and the main reason for doing that, in fact, I'm going to move that wheel. I'm going to move this block real quick. That way I can see a better view of it. And I'm going to try to get it there, yeah. Now, again, the reason I'm doing that is to give my bot a little bit more strength so that it can carry more blocks. If you don't put wheels all over the place, and especially if you're going to do like 4 wide, just do kind of like what I'm doing, where you leave one of the spaces or 2 of the spaces or the rows empty so that you can put wheels on there. Because as you get bigger and bigger, you know, an entire flat panel floor down here does not work. First of all, like I said, you will hit the tops of hills and kind of seesaw back and forth over it because you have no traction in the center. And this gives you that traction that you really, really need. I've learned that the hard way trying to do many bots that were just poorly designed and very, very difficult to get around. And take it from me, guys, just don't do that. It's not worth it. And in the end, you'll probably have to redesign. So we did get the... Nice, you dealt with the burglar as well. Yep. Okay, now you need the payload studio. Yeah, we're going to go take it back to our base. Now, you can put these things down all over the map, but the bots will destroy these pieces, and if the bots destroy your base, it's going to be really difficult to recover from that, if at all. I mean, in the past, if you lost your base, that was it. But now that they've made the payload studio terminal, which is what we have right here that we haven't put down yet, since they made that indestructible and you don't have to worry about that being destroyed, technically, if you had enough money saved up, you could rebuild from that. But if you didn't have enough money saved up, then that would pretty much be the end of it, unless you were willing to go off and kill, you know, like the invaders. But they're so difficult that I don't see you lasting very long doing that. So now you can right-click on it, and you can come into the terminal. You can buy blocks that you've discovered, or you can buy certain techs. So if you scroll down, these are the techs that the game manufacturers have provided for you. You'll see that some of them I can actually buy right now, and some of them I cannot. And basically it's saying that it contains undiscovered blocks. So you cannot buy tech that you have not discovered, even the ones that have been prepared for you. And you can click on it and it will tell you what part you have not discovered. And I think it's the GSO 1 slot refinery. And then let's see over here on this one, quite a few blocks. So this one has tons and tons of stuff that we still have to actually find before we can buy it. But once you find all this stuff, you can strap that payload terminal to your back or to your plane's back, fly it over to another region really far away, and then just plop down an entire base already built for you and protect it. And then you can go off and do whatever you want from there, because this map is so huge that that will become a thing at a certain point. Now, if you go into the block menu, you can see all the blocks we've discovered. You can see how much they cost. Now, remember, these things cost so much more than if you just find the recipe for it. If you find the ingredients and come back and do it, it's so easy, so quick most of the time, and so much cheaper. But if you're in a pinch and you need the weapon really quickly, you can buy these things. And you'll see right here there's a little clock right above the money tab, and it will show you 1 second. They're all 1 second right now. I don't know if they're going to change that, but that's the delivery time once you click it to buy it. So it will take about 1 second for it to drop out of the sky. I don't know if they're going to change the way it's actually dropped, but I guess we did discover the GSO multi-seeker AI module, although we never picked it up, so that's not the way it used to be. It wasn't if you found it in battle or, you know, fought it in battle that you would actually get access to it, but they're giving us access to some other stuff we haven't discovered yet, like the rotating anchor. Let's see, 2-slot fabricator. I think we have that one. Yeah, we have that one. Repair bubble. GSO Stormlight. Yeah, we discovered that already. So yeah, there's a few blocks in there that we have seen on bots, but we haven't picked them up. And I don't know if they've changed that. You guys will have to let me know if you noticed anything different on that one. So let's go ahead and exit out of that. And we are going to try to find the next little smoke signal. It looks like all the fragments of your kit fell over there. Enemies might try to steal your equipment. Secure it. Let's see. Now it's kind of showing me on the map with that little green, or not green, with the yellow question mark. Ah, it's right around the corner too. The one direction I don't look in. Okay, so we're gonna head over here and pick this stuff up. I'm loving the new graphics. I know they look a little cartoony as far as the trees go, but I don't know. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it looks just fine the way it is. And there's another bot over here. We're gonna go ahead and kill him. Oh, this crater is empty, so he stole it. Come on, turn. Oh God, come on. What are you doing? This thing is not turning very well. I don't know what the issue is there. Come on, kill it. There we go. So we got a couple of things off of this guy. Let's go ahead and pick all that up. We'll put that on there. Oh, he's still alive. What he has to be thinking. I'm just Kroll sitting here picking over his corpse while the guy is still alive. That is messed up. Okay, so we are going to keep going back. That was just so wrong. I can't believe he was still alive and just sitting there. Oh, I feel so bad now. Let's see. What did we get out of that anyways? We got a GSO 1-slot refinery. And this will take unrefined items and actually turn them into refined items. And as you get different blocks, you will see what it turns them into. So, oh, sorry guys. So this one will turn wood into a hydrocarbon capsule, which can be used for fuel and other pieces to make other recipes out of. So if I hover over it, let's see if it will do it. Yeah, you got to get it right over it because you don't have a little block that will pick it up for you. And I can't put anything else on it because it already has something there. If I pick it up and drag it off, then I can leave it there on the ground and I can put this one on there and it will do the exact same thing. But there's really no reason to do that because these items pop pretty quickly once you have a lot of stuff on the map. So I would not suggest really. So we're gonna go back. Yeah, I wouldn't suggest doing a whole bunch of that and then trying to come back and pick it all up. You might as well just go back to your base and pick up the pieces that you need, like the GSO tractor pads and stuff like that, because I don't carry those on me at all times. At the beginning of the game, I'll carry one on me from time to time. If I have a couple extra, right now I only have one, so I don't want to waste it and risk it getting destroyed, because if my bot gets destroyed, I can recover from that as long as my base doesn't get destroyed, because it will give you another bot to kind of start with. Not too great, better than nothing, and you can kind of get back on your feet from there. So this thing will refine objects, and this thing over here that I was telling you about before, the crap, what's the name of it? I gotta move it a little bit so we can see it. The fabricator will make things out of that. So if I pick this up and I put it over here, right here on the side, if it will attach it, nope, a little bit more. It won't attach right where I want it. Let's see, why not? So I guess I can't attach it there, can I? Yeah, there we go. If it will actually put it right where I want it. Come on. You can do it. Oh, no, one more over. Come on. Oh, there we go. We had it. We have it. There we go. Unbelievable. That was difficult for some reason. I don't know if it's like the slant of the hill or what, but it's usually not that difficult to put that on there. Looks like you found all of your base bomb. Yeah. So this thing will make new blocks and then actually put it onto the conveyor and then turn it over here where the fabricator will turn it into new items. And until you have items on here that it can actually use, you can have tons and tons of resources here. But if it can't make a recipe out of those, they will just stay here. So that's kind of a cool way to just throw objects on there every so often and see what it makes. Pretty much every item will make something. So if you throw blocks on there kind of willy-nilly and you're not really paying too close attention to it, you know, you're basically gonna come back to just tons and tons of items there. So we're gonna run over here real quick and pick up a few of these blocks just so I can show you. And I kind of want to pick up some of those light rocks as well. I love the graphics. Wow, that's kind of interesting how it's like breaking up into little pieces. And we only got one little item out of that. Wow, these things are a lot more scarce than they were before. I mean, they weren't too common, but they weren't this scarce. This is pretty bad. Now I can pick them up and I can drag them over here, and that will help my little tractor pad pick them up a little easier. I mean, you can always do it the hard way. Warning! Oh crap! No! How many guys are on my friggin' map? Quite a few, I think. Let's come over here and kill this guy. Oh, you know, he has a radar unit. If we can get that, the return of Tony. Wow, this guy does not want to turn. I don't know why that is. Every time I try to turn to the left, he just takes forever. Oh, now there's two of them over here. The minion of Tony. Well, Tony's revenge, I guess. Let's see. That's the bot that you killed at the very beginning. Oh, he has a radar unit as well. So we... No, he doesn't. Is that a radar unit? Yeah, it is. So now we'll be able to see where all the enemies are on the map, which... At least not on the... where we're at. I guess I shouldn't say all the enemies, because it doesn't have infinite range. And there is one item in the game that I've told about, which is, I think it's the green hat, the green elf hat, which allows you to see the enemy's radar if you put that on. I think that would be cool. We haven't found it yet, so I'm highly looking forward to that. Let's go over here and kill this guy. Although we are injured, I think we should be fine. Die! He's gonna die. Come on, explode! Now, if you give him a couple of seconds to explode like that, what you can do is pick up some of the blocks away from him. Because, like I said before, when he explodes, he does damage to anything around him, including his own blocks. And if there's a piece there that you really, really want, my suggestion would be to get it before the big boom, because it may not be there afterwards. And you can see he's still alive, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up some of these pieces that I know would not survive if he blew up right now. The blocks seem like they're going to be fine. See, again, now he's actually attacking one of the blocks that I could use, and that got destroyed. But the weapons survived, and the weapons are worth far more money as far as, you know, actual paying them, you know, in the GSO terminal. But if you're just going to make them, it's up to you which one you'd like the best. Now, there is a new wheel here, which I will just attach to my bot, and then I will remove this, because I'm not going to be attacking anybody from behind. That's pretty much my weakest area right now. This will give me a little bit more turnability. It's a stabilizing wheel. And like I said before, you kind of have to pay attention to what's on the ground, because you want to make sure when something new pops up, and it may be very, very small, and you may not even notice it right away. When something new pops up, you definitely want to snag it, because you'll regret not doing that. Oh, whoa, what's going on there? I dragged that item onto my pot, and you can see it got stuck underneath one of the blocks, and somehow it tossed all my resources incredibly high into the sky. That is a bit ridiculous. It's just one of those issues I'm sure they're working on, if they're aware of it, although that's a weird issue, so I would not doubt it if they haven't seen that before, because that's... Yeah, I haven't seen that on any of the other playthroughs, and I got nothing out of that? Nothing at all? Holy crap, the resources are really, really bare. Oh my god, there's something else here too. What is this? This is a Venture right angle bracket. Did I get that from the block? Do you find stuff out of the resources? I've never seen that before. Or is that just something I missed when we destroyed the bot over here? Wow, nothing's falling. What is going on here? How rare are those rocks? Or are those not dropping anything at all, and it's the darker color ones that do? That may be the case. Those may have nothing on them. Let's come over here if we can turn. We'll see if we get anything out of this. No, we didn't get anything out of that either. Dang, finally we got one piece. Just in time for me not to be able to do anything with it, because I have this jelly stuff in here. Let's go ahead and pick this up. And then we're going to go ahead and head back to base. And in fact, I think we're going to end the episode here, guys. We will pick this up on the next episode right here where we left off. That way I can show you what these items are going to make. I will need to change my bot up a little bit. I need to put a few blocks here in the front so that this thing is nice and protected. You really, really got to be careful with that, because if you don't put a few blocks here in the front, all it takes is for one guy to get a very lucky shot and destroy your weapon, which is not uncommon, and then you're pretty much out of luck. You know, you're going to be dead. And no matter how big your bot is, you know, if you only have one block here in the front, that's even not very good. So I may move all of this stuff one forward, or I may wait until we get more blocks. But either way, in fact, I think there's something else back here we haven't picked up. No, we got that one. There is a different style to that drill. There is one that points straight out, I've never really found a purpose to it, but it is something different, so keep an eye out for that as well. And again, guys, if you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Definitely helps grow my channel, and I greatly appreciate it. Also, make sure to leave comments down below because I love hearing back from you guys. And I will catch you guys next time.